I think we're going good. I just need to test my mic right quick. Music's good. I think we're going good. I just need to test my mic right quick. Mic is good. All right. This should be a quickie, unlike last night, which went on way longer than I wanted. Such a simple piece. But I tell you, sketching that freehand in the car really caused a lot of issues. That's the AC starting up as soon as I start streaming. What are the odds of that? It's not even that warm in here. So I'll talk a little more once that stops. All right. So when last we met our adventurer, she was being inked. And I got all the way to the detail phase, but the last stream had already gone on for 2 hours, so I just did the details off the screen. What is that? Where? Where is that? Oh, there we go. Chat again. Let me fix the chat. Why does that keep putting that back on? All right, that's better. And that's better. Yay! All right, we got chat. So anyway, I did the detail phase off screen, but other than the things that I just touched up. So she's ready to color, which means this should go real quick, because we're not doing any background or anything, because she's going to be cut out. All right, so the headline of this stream is probably intriguing or odd to you. The headline is actually also the subtitle to the book / journal that I put up the week after the election, and my original debut on YouTube, on Twitch I did kind of an introduction. I don't know that I ever did really an introduction on YouTube. I know I started a video, but it's pretty rough times when I was getting back on YouTube. So I am an independent artist now. It's what I've always wanted to do, but for whatever reason, I've never had the opportunity. I was forced into it this time, so I'll be honest, I'm a starving artist right now. I'm struggling a little bit. At least forced into it full time. I've been doing it part time since 2022. That's when I started my own business. That's the Toasted Phoenix. So I am in Texas in the U.S., where I grew up. I would say, unfortunately, to that. I would like to see what I would have been if I'd have grown up in maybe Seattle or California. A lot of people actually think I'm from California when they first meet me, unless the drawl comes out, which the drawl does come out quite often, especially the more emotional I get. Drawl is Texas accent. So I grew up in the Bible Belt, Southern Baptist family, and when I was 4, some of my family jokes that my first word was pencil. When I was 4 was about the time I started drawing. My Meemaw, my mom's mom, she actually saved one of my first pictures. It was pencil and I think it was maybe watercolor. I think it was maybe watercolor and pencil of Disney characters, which is funny in retrospect, because I had an interview with Marvel a while back. But I always wanted to be an artist, and lent towards anything artsy. When I was in 4th grade, I became an avid reader. I started reading anything I could get my hands on, especially nonfiction. Like, I was really into the classics: Jules Verne, H.G. Wells, Charles Dickens, Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker's Dracula is still my favorite book. I was reading Homer while other kids were still in pop-up books. So you can imagine where the whole Southern Baptist Christian thing started going. Because the more you read, the more you find out that that's just viewed differently than it was meant to originally. Our ideas of religion now, for the most part, are not what religion was back in the day. So you probably noticed on my stream the Dionysus quote there. I'm a Dionysian. That doesn't mean that I think that Dionysus, was embodied as a man and died for us, and I see him in physical form and all that. What it does mean is that adhering to the original concepts of religion, which was kind of a mixture of art, belief, and the unknowing, I see Dionysus as my god. And on Sundays, I'm going to start them back up. On Sundays, I've been doing Sunday Night Rites, which are an allusion to the Eleusinian mysteries, or rites, which were Dionysian. And in those, I talk more about the Dionysus stuff. My journal that I'm talking about delves into the Dionysus stuff. It's mostly quotes about Dionysus, but I mean, it's even got quotes from Jesus in there, because I like JC. Growing up in a Christian family, I never really gave the rest of the family shit for it. But I like the teachings of JC. I'd like to think that if he was actually real and we were around each other, I'd probably get along great with the guy. And a lot of JC is taken from Dionysus, a lot of it. So I dig JC. I dig actual Christians. I think there's a very big movement of people saying they're Christians right now that are not actually Christians. I think they're Yahwists. So you can see how from a young age I probably got segregated. I didn't dig the idea or the emphasis that everybody put on sports, so I wasn't into football or basketball. I did play. I tried everything. I did try everything. I was pretty good at track, which caused some drama. King dodgeball. But my emphasis was always on art until I started researching paleontology and archaeology, which are also kind of passions of mine. And philosophy. All three things really put a hamper on the whole Christianity thing. So since I was surrounded, like in a state full of, and a family full of friends that are Christians, I mean, everything was walking on eggshells because nobody wanted to talk about what I wanted. I mean, I grew up during the rock is evil, satanic panic years. That was great. I truly think that in the 80s we were on the way to kind of a moralistic enlightenment, like I think we were this year too. So I feel that in the 80s we were on our way to a moralistic enlightenment, and we just missed it. And I think that's why the 90s were so emotional, and they were emotional. I mean, that's where grunge came from. That's where emo came from. And I think we just saw it happen again. We had our chance, and so I think we're going to go through another emotional period now. Artists will call it the blue period. If you're spiritual, it's called dark period. So I think that's where a lot of people are right now. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And that's actually why I put my journal out. Because I think there's a lot of people that aren't only lost right now because they don't know which way to turn because everyone else expects so much of them. And I think they also don't know which way to turn because they feel that they're outnumbered. But that's always the case. When it comes to artsy types, you're always outnumbered. And I'm not talking about people who just copy and trace AI, do somebody else's stuff all the time. I'm talking about actual artsy types. They're passionate about what they do. They care about the expression. Expressionists. So whether you're an artsy type or whether you're an intellectual, which are definitely outnumbered right now, whether you are empathetic, whether you are all of them, INFJ, anybody, you probably are outnumbered, but that's okay. That's always been the case. People like that, like us, have always been outnumbered because it's easier to be stupid. And that sounds really callous, and I don't really care. My days of not being callous are kind of over. The people that don't want you to talk about stuff, pretty much just because they don't want to hear it, don't want to believe something else, I'm kind of over that. I have truth tattooed on my hand for a reason. So, for one, I'm old. For two, I've just dealt with it too much. This doesn't mean I'm not going to be good to people, but I've got this saying. You don't have to be nice to me for me to be good to you, but you may have to be nice to me for me to be nice to you. So, if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling outnumbered, if you're feeling just hopeless, that's what my title's about. That's what my journal was about. So, I mean, I don't really want to pimp it too much. If it's on Amazon, the reason I put it out after the election, I rushed. I worked like god awful amount of time without sleep to get that done because just in case somebody needed it, I needed it. I needed to get it done. So it's to help you gather your thoughts. It's to help you gather yourself because being yourself is okay unless you're a dick. I mean, and I guess that's what it really boils down to. The difference between not being smart and being stupid is the choice involved. If you are actively avoiding intellectual endeavors, that's stupidity. What I call stupidity is actually attention avoidance disorder. It's when you don't want to see something because it might change the way you feel, might change the way that you think, might change the way that you built your life. But I am of the opinion that if your life could be crushed because of a truth, then it needs to be, because it's not really it's not really substantial, and we've really lost track of substantial stuff. That's why you see a bunch of shorts about me in my gardens, spending time with the bees, and they probably seem silly, but I don't really care. It's there. I've also got this other saying: there are no little things. I mean, I go out and talk to the trees now. I name the trees. I talk to the trees. Spend time with the bees. Spend time with my dogs. And I like that stuff more than I like hanging around most people, especially most people in this state, um, or in the states. But the point is not to be negative. The point is to be positive in the negative. That's the point. The point is to actively seek out knowledge. That's the point of, not being smart, but not being stupid, because both of them are subjectional. Um, if you're stupid, you can be stupid in an area, you can be smart in an area. Um, One person may be smart in math while the other person is not. It's all subjectional. It's also objectional. But stupidity is a choice. If you're actually wanting to learn, if you're wanting to be smarter in areas, then I got news for you. You're going to be wrong. Every time you learn, you're going to find out you're wrong. That's what it is. I mean, if you're learning something every day, then every day you're finding out you're wrong, and that's okay. That silly Disney movie, I think it was Disney, Meet the Robinsons, Meet the Robinsons, I think it was Meet the Robinsons. When it came out, it was just funny that they kept saying screw up, screw up, screw up. But that's really it. That's really knowledge. Like I was talking about when I was studying paleontology and archaeology, I was literally finding out that everything I was told was wrong. Jericho was already crushed when the children of Israel got there, so they didn't bring the walls down. Their faith didn't bring the walls down. They didn't encounter the Philistines because the Philistines weren't in the area at the time. All this is provable. We're literally in the age of information, and we've turned it into, we especially saw that this month, we've turned it into the age of misinformation. Because, and this is one reason I have trouble getting on here and posting stuff, is because we've become of the opinion that if someone has followers, that they're right, that they should be followed, they should be listened to. That is definitely not the case. Anne Hathaway proves that. I love her. And that really, what's funny is that really started getting into my heart during the whole Will Smith thing, because I saw all the reactions to the Will Smith thing, and these people, they're all separated from reality. But how many of us are? Do not trust. I can't say don't trust anybody, because that's part of duality, which is Dionysus. The real one of the tests of maturity is figuring out what duality is, how to use duality, how to decipher duality. And a good example, an example that I use a lot of times, is trust. It is absolutely stupid, especially today, to trust anybody. You have to admit that. It's stupid to trust anybody. Trusting any human has got to be the dumbest effing thing that you can do. But it's also stupid to not trust anybody. It's no way to live. So you got to figure out who's worthy of trust. And even then, they're not going to be, you can't trust them all the time. Check your resources. But like everything that was going down this year, I mean, you'd see this person or these people or this channel showing this clip, and then you go over here and the clip is 12 minutes longer. So that's really my point. If you want to be not stupid, then watch the 12-minute clip. It is an effort to not be stupid. Do it. That's really it. That's what the title's about. That's what some of the journal is about. I myself am not smart. I did not go to college. I'm an autodidact. Anything that I learn myself. That being said, even an autodidact learns from other people. So you have to trust the sources. You have to trust authorities. And this is the problem. This is the problem our country's in right now. You have to trust the authorities. Someone who's an actual authority in an area, you got to listen to them. And yes, a lot of authorities differ right now, but That's where your research comes in. Do enough research to learn who you can listen to. And even then, they'll do something you don't agree with. Um, unless it's something just completely ludicrous, that's fine. You're never going to agree with everybody. And you're never going to agree with anybody about everything. I think that's not that right. See, I'm not very smart. But what I am is myself. That's what I've always been. It's gotten me into a lot of trouble. And a lot of that is because I wanted to trust people more than I should have. So being an altruist will definitely get you into issues too. I'm a huge Aristotle fan, and Aristotle has this saying that anything in excess becomes a flaw, even a virtue. So, yeah, I wish I could tell you what the trick is to not being depressed if you're depressed right now. All I can tell you is you are the one to get yourself out of it, because depression is a pit, man. And it's a pit that you really kind of dig for yourself, or maybe you don't see it coming and you fall into it yourself. I mean, it's avoidable. It's definitely avoidable. But when it comes to it, you're the only one that gets you out. Someone can reach a hand out, sure, but you got to take the hand and you got to help them help you up. And I am not the best person to be preaching that, since I've definitely withdrawn from society. But I'm trying. I have a very small group of people that I'm still trying to communicate with, and they're pushing me to do stuff like stream. So I don't really believe in advice, but I believe in perspective. From my perspective, being yourself is hard shit. Not being stupid is hard shit. Not being smart is not. That's easy. But not being stupid is hard. Being yourself is hard, especially if you're around people that expect you to be what they want you to be. Going after what you want to do is hard as hell in this society. Yes, it's great that in our society, pretty much anybody can do what they want to do for a living. Video gamers can play video games for a living now. When I was 13 and getting griped out for playing video games, we never had any idea that people were going to be playing video games for a living now. Now you pretty much got a whole country that plays South Korea, plays video games for a living. So it's a great time from certain aspects. Dionysus be praised, liber pata. Uh, a lot of people can just do whatever they want to do for a living and get by. I'm trying to do that, but I got to get exposure, working on it. Once you get that exposure, that's really it. When you get that exposure, don't be a dick. Don't be one of the people that thinks just because you got followers, you know what you're talking about. Check your MF resources. Yeah. I really want to name names. I really want to be specific. And here's the big thing. Make sure that your community is an actual community. Social media is not really social. Online communities are not necessarily communities, and they cause their own issues. I've been saying that for decades now. As a gamer, gamers really got to see it before anybody, but they also fall for it more than anybody. An online community can really cause its own issues because of what we've been talking about. You get this paradigm going, and I'll use a card game for an example. So let's say you've got this community of people that play card games, and you've got these streamers that are very popular streamers. They got a lot of followers, and these streamers say that this card is not good. Well, there are millions of followers, or they're going to stop playing with that card, and that card may or may not be good. But another gamer comes along, they put a deck together with that card, and they do really well with it. They run into people online, and these people online start treating them like shit because they play with that card. Like they don't know what they're doing just because they play. Why are you playing with that card? And you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And that's not even trolling. This is besides the trolling. There's also the trolling, and there's also the bots. So the internet is really a whole lot of garbage, and that's actually what I'm getting at. So make sure that your community is an actual community. There is such a thing as a community being too big. I mean, honestly, we've got a few countries that are probably too big. The sense of community is gone. I mean, in my mind, in my belief, capitalism is also anti-community. That's conversation for another day. The point is just be careful. Uh, get with if you're with a community, then actually talk with them. The chat talk that's not going to do it. Talking in chat's not going to do it. Talking by text is not going to do it. Manage some time to FaceTime or stream together. Um, do actual socializing because you don't get emotion from text, and it's too easy to hide stuff on social media behind text or in a comment section. Um, and and this is going to segue to TTRPGs now, because if you read the description, I was going to go over TTRPGs as well. So when I was in high school, right after last year of high school, I was not introduced to D&D. I'd actually been introduced to it when I was much younger, when it came out. But I started playing Dungeons and Dragons last year in high school. Boy, did that cause issues, because Dungeons and Dragons was the devil as well. I always joke that I got kicked out of the two places you should never get kicked out of: an all-you-can-eat buffet and a church. So playing Dungeons and Dragons, it was really eye-opening for me, but not I don't think for the same reason as everybody else. At least not unless you really think about it. I really delved into TTRPGs, which is tabletop role-playing games. Not because I had a separation from reality. I mean, I could read books. Like I said, I could read books to do that. I could watch movies to do that. I could play video games to do that. And that's all they are. Books, movies, video games, they're really the same thing. So, tabletop role-playing games put a group of people together in a situation where you have to be able to work together. You have to learn to be patient with each other. You have to learn to be open and communicative with each other. And then you end up, in most instances, with a group of interracial party members, interreligion party members. You got four guys and gals of different races with different beliefs working together for a common goal. I mean, in 2024, it doesn't get much further from reality, right? Because how often does that happen? That's what we need. That's one reason why I like it so much. I mean, that's Chris Pine said that he thought that after he did the D&D movie, after he played with his little girl, he thought they should teach it in school, and he's right. They should teach TTRPGs in school. Why not? It's a great idea. Learning to be able to communicate with each other for a common goal, not only get around differences, but respect differences. Oh, this priest is a priest of Saloon, and we need that right now. So right now I believe in Saloon, even though I don't worship Saloon. It's more in line with what religion used to be, by the way. So TTRPGs were fantastic. They are fantastic. I highly recommend them. I actually put an introduction course together with curriculum and everything for TTRPGs because I think that they're so good for people. They really, not only do they teach you the social dynamics that are missing, but they also teach you, that thought just derailed. Social dynamics. Oh yeah, they teach you acting. They teach you to create a character and put yourself in their shoes, which is perspective. So since you are actually role playing, since you're playing this, like if you're playing this archer here, when you're making a decision in the game, you make it as if you're the archer. So you really ask, what would the archer do? Y'all are really quiet today. So seeing other people's perspectives is a massive skill or talent. Some people do just have it, I'm sure, but it's definitely a skill that is in high regard and in high necessity. I would say the majority of the issues that you'll run into in your life, the issues you're probably running into right now, are that you're having trouble seeing other people's perspective. just plain and simple. So I'm a huge fan of TTRPGs because of it's also fun, and it's also fantasy. It's also very colorful. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and the sci-fi and the fantasy from the 70s and 80s was top notch, and also the heavy metal was top notch. So all of the issues that I prefaced this part of the conversation with led to me being suicidal. So when I was a teen, I was suicidal. I actually tried a couple of times, and things happened that made it not happen, made it not go through. I'll maybe cover that later. There's no need to. But what stopped that was actually heavy metal. I met this guy. He was an artist as well. One of the only artists I've actually had as a friend in my life. I've really only had 2 artist friends my entire life, and that's been detrimental, let me tell you. But whatever. So he introduced me to heavy metal music and a heavy metal magazine. And those 2 things literally saved my life. My life was saved by heavy metal. So, and I'm talking like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Black Sabbath. Um, and this is right during the Satanic Panic as well. It's quite funny. So, the opening to the Tenacious D movie, yeah, it was pretty much me. So that um, heavy metal is a large part of me. That's not to say I don't like other music. I like all music. I mean, I'm one of the biggest Wu-Tang Clan fans you'll meet. RZA is like bae. But heavy metal literally saved my life. And in my, I've got my own stories. I've got my own characters, and I'm working on that book, but I need to get the income flowing in better before I can finish that up, because that takes a while. I'm learning to animate, but that takes a while. So I've got my own stories, my own characters, and and you'll see rock all over the place. If you're checking me out, you're going to see rock. You're going to see my characters, and they're obviously metal themed. You probably can't tell, but she's rock. She's 80s rock themed. We'll see that when we cover it. But it's a huge deal to me, mostly because it was misunderstood. Also because the rock revolution was all about, we're not going to take it. The whole point of the rock revolution is, we're tired of you telling us who we have to be, what we have to be. That was the rock revolution. That's literally what it was about. And then punk was just pissed off um, because it kept going, pretty much. So, I mean, I've lived through all of the musical revolutions, to tell the truth. Maybe not Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, but I do like them. I did. That was one of the first things I convinced my parents to let me listen to, other than Christian music, was oldies. So Elvis is dear to me. But so in the fantasy that's coming up next month, in the greatest and best bard in the world, there is going to be a heavy 80s rock theme, mostly heavy metal, and it's on purpose. It's because it's dear to me. It's a lot of who I am. I make a lot of references to heavy metal. I make a lot of references to cheesy fantasy and sci-fi films, um, and comic books. Originally, I wanted to be a comic book artist. Yep. Like I said, I had an interview with Marvel, but I was a dad. They wanted me to move to the coast. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. But then my style changed anyway, and I didn't want to work for somebody else. I want to work for myself. I want to do my own stuff. I don't think there's enough originality out there. I'm a huge fan of originality. I think we need more. I don't think we need a 15th Batman. I don't think we need another universe of Batman told a different way. It's not even Batman anymore. Same way with Spider-Man. It's not Spider-Man anymore. The third Marvel Spider-Man film was an hour and a half of making Peter Parker into Peter Parker, because they didn't make Peter Parker before. Ever think about that? So, in the damn Rings of Power, the creators of the Rings of Power said that they didn't even want to go by the books. They said that they want to make their own stories. Then why? Why use Tolkien's characters and stuff? If you don't want to use Tolkien's characters, make your own damn stuff. I mean, that's what Zack Snyder really needs to to stick to. He doesn't need to redo somebody else's stuff. Honestly, Sucker Punch was friggin' great. I know that people don't like it. It gets a bad rap, but I love Sucker Punch. That's the one thing that he should release a Zack Snyder cut for is Sucker Punch, because the deleted scenes, the alternate ending, the animes, they make the movie so much better. I already like it because I mean it just really makes you think, but it's so unique and it's uh, cross genre. But if you find the deleted scenes, the alternate ending, and the shorts, that movie is fantastic, and that's his it's his movie. He needs to do more stuff like that. Quit doing other people's stuff. Just quit doing it, and definitely quit remaking and redoing and rehashing and retelling and reimagining other people's stuff. I mean, that's why Guardians of the Galaxy was so great, is because James Gunn used the source material. He made the characters the characters. I mean, honestly, the first one felt like he had Dan Abnett on set with him, if I'm honest. But, oh, there goes the chat again. Okay, it's back. Connection's good. I don't know what's going on. So, I just want to lay out who I am. A lot of why I do the things that I do. At my age, I'm done doing what other people say. I'm done with lies. I am looking for substantiability. So, back to the subject of what can you do to feel better during these times? If you're having a hard time, everything. That's what I say. What can you do? Everything. Anything you can do, do it. And I'm not saying that to just distract yourself, because distracting yourself is easy nowadays. What I'm doing is, or what I'm saying is, it's not even keep yourself busy, because keeping yourself busy is probably kind of easy. You can keep yourself busy doing what somebody else is telling you to do all the time, working 14-hour days for Bob's Imaging or third-party collector just to get by and not see your family all the time. What I'm saying is do stuff that matters, substantial stuff. Learn how to make your own alcohol like I did. That was awesome. Learn how to grow your own stuff. Dude, growing things, making life, what better way to live than helping things live? Plants, they're alive. Fungi, they're alive. They're not plants, by the way. That's why I separated them. Yeah, mammals are alive. Fish are alive. Birds are alive. But guess what? Plants are alive. My best friend was saying, are you going to be a vegetarian now? And I'm like, well, that would work if I didn't know that plants were alive. And he's like, oh, I never thought about that. Exactly. Who does? Because we choose to be stupid. Well, stop choosing to be stupid. So what can you do? Do everything. I'd say talk to everybody, but that's ludicrous. Don't do that. Don't talk to everybody. Be choosy with who you talk to. But when you do talk to somebody, actually talk to them. If someone doesn't want to hear your religious beliefs, if someone doesn't want to hear your political beliefs, be wary. That's probably not who you want to deal with. That is a lesson that I wish that I can't say I wish because I have kids. I don't believe in regrets. But it is a lesson that I was not good at. I had tons of friends. I was the guy with tons of friends, and that was my issue. I had friends telling me that these friends were bad, and I wouldn't listen, and then the bad friends would crush my life. Uh, it's difficult, but you get signs. And I'm telling you right now, as someone who did not take this particular sign for 40 plus years, when someone says they don't want to hear your views on religion, when someone doesn't want to hear your views on politics, there's a reason why they don't want to hear it. And it's probably attention avoidance disorder. Because they don't want to be accepting. And those are the people you don't want to be around. Because if you're around somebody who's not accepting of you for who you are, then when push comes to shove and who you are becomes important and necessary, they won't be there. Also be wary of lies. That's really rule number one. Just don't lie, period. There are no good lies. You don't have to say everything that you want to say. You don't have to say everything that you know, but don't lie. If someone lies, I don't know, 3 strikes, maybe? That's up to you. But what can you do during tough times like this? How can you stay undepressed? Well, lemon balm helps. I grow lemon balm. I have lemon balm tea. I have lemon balm extract. I have lemon balm oils. Lemon balm is great for depression. So try that. But other than that, do everything. Write. Write, 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 write. Find a good TTRPG group. I'm on Start Playing. Use me. I've got a bunch of different campaigns, bunch of different sessions and times. At least one of my boys plays. So get a good group with a TTRPG. It's a good experience. If you got a community online, see if they'll let you talk. See if they actually listen to who you are. If they don't, get out. Or maybe not get out, but don't put a lot of time into it. What you want to put time into is people that will put time into you. And do everything. Man, I can't say it enough. Do everything. Cook for yourself. How many people you know that cook for themselves? We're surrounded by things that we don't understand. We don't know how to fix if they break down. Someone else makes your food. Someone else works on your car. Someone else works on your dishwasher. Your dishwasher washes your dishes for you. Someone else works on your refrigerator. Someone else works on your phone. Someone else works on your TV. Someone else works on your video game system. Someone else works on your PC. We got people raising our kids for us. People make our houses. 200 years ago, we were making our own houses. We were raising our own kids. The teacher taught every single class. We have been specialized to nothing. We hate ourselves because we don't know anything. So the trick to not being smart and being okay with it is don't actively be not smart and be wrong. Being wrong is fine. And honestly, your reaction to how you're wrong, I struggle with this. Your reaction to when you're wrong is important as well. So that's all that out of the way. Covered TTRPGs. Yeah. So we'll get to the coloring, which won't take that long. What TTRPG do I think is best? Hard to say. Hard to say. 5th edition D&D was fun. It was easy to get into. That means that it's good for beginners. Household is really good for beginners, I gotta say. Okay. So when you color, there's a lot of people out there that they'll take their line art, and the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go here, and they're going to tell you to go through and trace your lines. And you're going to keep doing this for your entire picture. Trace it with the select tool, and then when you get to the end, you fill that with a color, and that's your base color. That's your base color layer. I can't stand it, especially if I go full detail, like I've done here. I can't stand that, so I don't do that. If I do a base color layer on something as detailed as this, I might do a base color layer. If I do a base color layer, the way I would do it is I would get a good paintbrush. It's a pretty good color. I'll use that color. The way I would do it is I'd get a good paintbrush, get a good size, and I would outline it thusly. And you would do this through the entire inside of your line art. And then you would drop the color in it. And it would fill in all that. Now, the more detailed your picture is, the harder it is to do that, because whether you're using the select tool or not, because you're gonna have gaps sometimes, and if it doesn't, if you see it goes, if it looks like that, there's good odds. It's because you missed it somewhere, or because you didn't press hard enough. You can use calligraphy too. If you use a calligraphy pen, that's actually probably better than painting. Excuse me. Calligraphy pen would be better. But still, you might have a small gap somewhere, and then you got to find that gap, fix the gap, and then try it again. Yes, you definitely know things and do stuff. Zoot, you sew. I'm jealous of your sewing. You got me jelly. But another thing you can do in Procreate is what you can do. Oh, let's get rid of that. Another thing you can do in Procreate is you can hit reference. And when you hit reference, Man, I had a good skin color. It went away. Oh, because I colored that rat. No, it's not that bad. Okay, so when you're on reference, if you just drag your color over, ain't that cool? Procreate's pretty smart. So it doesn't have a magic wand like Photoshop. It does have an automatic select tool that's okay. It's almost like a magic wand. But if you make it reference, it's kind of like a magic wand. And then you can continue filling and fill 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 and fill. And I think that's it. Making sure. Oh, I guess inside the necklace. Damn. I think I will do this one. Oh, it's the collar. All right, I think that's all the skin. Did you figure out who she looks like yet? I think she looks a lot like her. I'm pretty proud, but I don't want to say it. I want somebody to figure it out. If you figure it out, put it in the comments. All right, now we need 80s rock. No, let's do her hair. So my Dalfs are my dark elves. My dark elves can have anything from white to black hair. It's all shades. Can be silvery. How about like a platinum? Let's give her like a platinum hair. Let's see how that looks. And no, that's not going to blend with the fur because I already know what color the fur is going to be. Because it's bat fur. Missed its spot. Oh. All right. I kind of like it. Oh, yeah. That's what. There was something else. I'll let it sit and I'll noodle it. I kind of like it though. I kind of want to write Russian. Would y'all forgive me if I got up and got a white Russian? I say God. I mean, I'd have to make the bastard. Oh, I really like. So I like making leather with blue. It's always a temptation, but because I always do it, it's also not a temptation. I kind of want to not do it just because I do it so much. But we'll start there. My Dalfs usually wear two types of leather, either bat leather or spider leather. I know, gross. Oh, oh, oh. I missed some skin. I also miss minking. Actually, maybe the pants. We'll do the pants different leather. Because I tell you, one thing that sucks about me in particular is I want things to make sense, even in fantasy. Eddie Izzard's a genius. He kind of went wacko a little while back, but yeah, his stand-up was top-notch. Oh, sucks. Fix that right quick. If you're talking about Eddie, Eddie's still using Eddie. He's actually got a movie. He's playing Frankenstein. He's playing I think it's a version of Frankenstein. I did not detail that shoulder pad's fur, did I? Son of a bitch. Gus, don't even. I said don't. Gus? Thank you. I gotta fix that now. It's driving me crazy. I tell you, this one picture getting me good. Getting me good. Gus? Hush. I'll be happy when this one's done. Way too much time for a single character concept. Oh yeah, commissions are open, by the way. If you've heard a lot of buzzing, it's because I just got a bunch of commissions actually, but I still got room. And my holiday cards are on Etsy. I started a Squarespace account, but man, that's really iffy. If I had a day where 100 people bought something on Squarespace, I would be spending the entire week. A good portion. I'd be spending a few days getting their stuff together. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That would be not worth it to me. I assumed he went back because in the movie trailer it was Eddie Izzard. You can look it up. Look up the trailer. I didn't think that it illegally changed the name anyway. What do I care though? I mean, maybe I'll just call myself Daxula or Phoenix. Now we can proceed. Okay. Yeah, you see the difference there? But I don't know. I think I need it a little bit darker, or less dark. Oh, more skin there. Man. What am I? Oh, I'm not smoking anything. Maybe that's my problem. I need to smoke something. Look, Pope Man, vampires. Yeah, Eddie Izzard stand-up is top notch. Do you have a flag? Gus, knock it off, man. Cake or death. Indeed. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. But guns bloody well help, don't they? Oh man, and him in My Super Ex-Girlfriend. I like the stupidest damn movies. I love My Super Ex-Girlfriend, which is on Amazon right now. Dude, Saving Silverman popped onto Amazon last week or week before. I love Saving Silverman so much. I feel that I'm on calligraphy. I am. Alright, we good? Can I fix the skin now? Let's fix the skin. Mystery Men was great. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Mystery Men too. I don't. Some of these movies I don't understand why they don't do better. Well, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. But then again, I watched Manster earlier today. My taste in movies is definitely not for everybody. You got to tell you though, I watched Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Immortality for the first time last month, and I'm in love. I had no experience with him before that. I knew he was a, or I know that he was a, damn it, internet personality. But oh man, all that on the wrong freaking layer. Yeah. Now we need some funky colors. Actually, let's do, where's that brown? Let's do this too. Cool. Alright, now we need some funky colors. That's pretty funky. Maybe there. Ooh. Is it funky enough? That's the question. I haven't watched Nandor Fodor yet either. I love Peg. I can't think of a single Peg movie that I don't like. I think he and I are on the same wavelength. And I think it may be the only Peg movie I haven't seen, except for the new Mission Impossible. Or did I see that one? I may have seen the new Mission Impossible. I might have pirated that. But yeah, I haven't watched Nandor Fodor yet. Onyx is great. Great, great, great. Yeah, I don't know that that's funky enough. I want to put a blue. I gotta put blue. I can't not. So in Procreate, you can simply select a layer like I've done here. You can hit color fill. And then, zing! Ain't that cool? Now I'm not as happy as I was with the red. Maybe yellow. That's pretty cool. All right, give me your votes. The hot pink, the blue, or the green. Actually, that's pretty good right there. I like that. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll use that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, fur. Yeah, but she's already a dark elf technically, or a Dalf, so she's got a hint of blue in her skin. So I didn't want it to be too cool. That's the artist term for it. I didn't want the picture to be too cool. We needed some warmth. I missed a spot. A side boob. But yeah, I needed some warmth in the picture. Well, not just contrast. So colors have a temperature, kind of. And if a picture gets too... In Procreate, you can get your color back just by tapping on it. You tap on the color wheel, tap this square on the left that you're not seeing, and then you'll get the color wheel. You just tap the color and you get it back. Is that the right layer? No, of course not. Glad I visited that there though. These mean that I have broken lines. When you're doing your line work, broken lines are okay. Don't feel bad about broken lines. But, that being said, you have to manage them. Any more of that? Yup. It's a detailed pick. It's a lot of work. Carrie convinced me. Carrie, are you in there? Not sure if she's there. She convinced me to watch Wish. I put Wish on today. I'll be honest, I got busy doing something else. It was damn boring. I'll finish it because I finish things, but it's damn boring. I've never heard anything good about the film until she was talking about it this morning. Damn it all to hell. Go away. Cool Runnings makes you cry? I mean, I guess some weird movies make me cry, but Cool Runnings is not one of them. I'll tell you, Big Fish, every time. Every time. I don't even want to watch it anymore. What Dreams May Come, Greatest Showman. Those three always get me. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Every time I've watched that, I've cried. And 2 also, I think. I might have watched 2 without crying once or twice, but yeah, I don't get why that makes you cry. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. When Rocket starts talking and Nebula hears him every damn time. Every time. They are the cutest MCU couple. I think I need to change tips on my pencil. I think that's a lot of the issues I'm running into because I need to change tips. I've got one, I just need to do it. So if you pick up Procreate, I think Procreate's $15. I think it's 15. And then Procreate Sky, I think, was 20. That's for animating, though. So the pencil is around 130. On my pad, the Procreate uses the Pencil 1, which is kind of awesome. And it is pressure sensitive. And it comes with a backup tip or two. But you'll probably want to buy more. And then you'll want to buy some gloves like this so that you don't constantly do stuff, do stuff with your hand while you're drawing. And they also have screen protectors that feel like paper. So if you prefer to feel the paper grain, you can get screen protectors that feel like paper. They're not expensive either. They're pretty cheap. The gloves are pretty cheap. The expensive stuff is the pad and the pencil. Everything else is cheap. Moving right along. Oh my God, another spot. Jeez. I made this so detailed. Why? Why did I do that? Why, Gus? Why did I make it so detailed? He doesn't give a rat's ass. He is asleep. Yeah, and then the Yondu funeral in 2. So good. I still think that the first Captain America is probably the best Marvel film. And Winter Soldier, the second one, was pretty damn good too. But my favorite is by far Guardians. Prince of Egypt gets me. I've got this weird connection to Moses. Kind of a Moses fanatic. Funny me not being a Christian or Jew or Catholic or Yahwist liking Moses, but I got a deep connection to Moses. When I started studying shamanism, literally when I first started studying shamanism, one of the first things that I saw, a picture of Moses popped up in the shaman course. And I'd never, ever considered that Moses was a shaman. But totally, Moses was totally a shaman. If Moses was real, he was totally a shaman. One of the things that got me big into shamanism was actually Joseph Campbell. I don't know if any of y'all read Joseph Campbell, but if you don't, you should. Like I said, I read anything and everything. I even read that damn J.D. Vance book, that piece of garbage. Ugh, Hillbilly Eulogy. Ugh. At least he wrote. That's what I'm going to say. At least he did it. I think everybody should write. He did write, but that was just horrible. You've never seen Prince of Egypt? You want to borrow my Amazon? Prince of Egypt is dope. So good. Oh, so good. Back when DreamWorks made movies. Of course, I think they're behind the live action How to Train Your Dragon. I'm already so sick of the live action bullshit. saw pictures from the set of Moana live action. Ugh. Give me something original. Give me more shit like Encanto. God, Encanto is so good. Give me more original shit. Give me more original shit like Dave Builds a Maze. It's a good reason right there for you to do something substantial so we have more good shit. And no, original doesn't mean good, but better chance of it being good than someone else's regurgitated stories. I remember working 3 jobs. Yep. Barely knew if I was coming or going when I worked 3 jobs. Oh, that's the leather. Lost that. Prince of Egypt's really good. Let me know if you want to use the Amazon, you can. You can watch Prince of Egypt. I have it. It's so good. And Scrooged is free on Amazon right now. I love Scrooged. I need to see The Ref. The Ref is one of my favorite Christmas movies. It's never Christmas until I see The Ref. I don't know if you watched it yet, the one I told you about last week. There's something like, yeah, right? There's something in the barn. It's so good. I think I want to watch that again tonight, actually. Something in the barn is so good. I need to work on my Saturnalia Christmas cards tonight, so I might do something in the barn. Or maybe I'll watch Scrooge again. Something Christmassy. All right. I want the bow to look kind of like a driftwood. It's too dark. That'll work. Christmas Carol's good. Like I said, I'm a Dickens fan. Love Christmas Carol. Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol was actually really damn good. But Scrooge is probably my favorite. Patrick Stewart's was good too. He read it. Was it last year? He read it on his face. I follow him on Facebook. He read Christmas Carol. That was super cool. Bill Murray for the win. Yep. I think it's funny that like 50% of the accounts of people that have worked with Bill Murray absolutely love him, and the others can't stand him. I'm good for some, but I ain't for everyone. Oh no, I already did an arrow. What color was that arrow? It was somewhere around there. It looked like that. And then the fletching was the same way too. Shame. Good flick. Do I want her to accessorize that much? Probably not. No. So let's say she got the bow while adventuring. If she got the bow while adventuring, good chance that it has gold in it. So we'll just use gold. Besides, people like gold, right? And if she got it while adventuring, the straps are not going to match her leather like I was about to do. Yeah, I dig it. I think I'm just going to do those the same color. Now, something you can do other than the reference. So if you take the reference off, for like the boots, if you just do that, outline it, kind of like I was showing you earlier when I was zooming around the whole thing. You outline your area, and you can color drop in. But if you don't take reference off, it's going to still try to fill it in the lines. The reference makes it follow in the lines of the layer that you choose as a reference. But if you don't have a reference, you can just do that. Yeah, she's totally giving off 80s rocker babe vibes, and I love it. I'm loving it. Let's do the mask. Need a good porcelain shade. Think like that. Think like that. Maybe a little too red. We can work with it though. Oh, this will be fun. What color would be ours eyes? Let me see. Oh, is that what I did? That's funny. Makes sense. Dune 2 is cool. Alright. So that's all the spaces. Everything's filled in. Oh, except for the diamonds. And that ear is missing some skin. I didn't care much for the changes they made with Chani in the second Dune, but the rest of it was pretty cool. Oh, you mean the Max show, the new show. That's what you mean, I think. Is it Max? I don't remember what it's on. Yeah, I forgot about the new show. It looks pretty cool. Love Mark Strong. as I was saying, now that we got everything, for one, we can turn that off because your colors look different on white. You can see if you're happy with everything. I think maybe I like that better. I like that better. So this is the same thing I showed you earlier. I just select a layer. I keep it in color fill. I select a layer and then I play with the colors. That's all. That's simple. That's pretty good. I like that. I think that's the only thing I need to change. Maybe let's play with the metal a little bit. I wasn't too happy with that either. Could do something crazy. That's pretty cool. I think it looks like spider leather and bat fur. Or bat leather and bat fur. All of the pale browns make me want to do a standard brown for the bow, though, I'll be honest. So what we can do is go to automatic. The reason I'm doing this is because I put the arrow on this layer also. Oh, that's pretty cool. Both of those are pretty cool. I like the cherry wood. I think we're going to go with that cherry wood. Yeah, that's pretty cool. sometimes when you do a color change, it gets funky lines like that. If I hadn't have unselected it, I could have just done it again, and it would have fixed it. So basically, if you hit the color, what's it called? Color fill, if you hit it again, it'll fix that problem, but I had already unselected it. That's why I'm having to fix my mistake right now. I might still have reference chosen. Let's see. I do. That's fine. All right. Everything looks good. So, last thing we do. Now, since I didn't make that base layer that I was talking about, what we do is you can select everything. Oop. Yeah, I got too many layers already. Let's see what we can combine. Oh, what is that? It's the earrings. Oh, didn't do that. Once you group something, you can flatten it. You can merge down. Reorganize your layers. What is that layer? Then flatten that, and there's your base layer. So I didn't have to spend the time doing the trace that they tell you to do. I didn't have to spend the time doing the paint that I say I do sometimes. I just put the colors in, have my own base layer. The reason this is important is because now you can select this. You do not want to color fill. And then you make a new layer, dark light. Our picture has blue light. It's right around there. So we'll be right around there. And then let's go. And then it's coming from that side. Alright, means all the shadings on that side. Now the shading can get dark and it can mess with your eyes. If you want, when you do the shading, you can just turn your background layer back on the white, shade that way. Helps your eyes a little bit. Now, since this focus is going to be like Saturday morning / 70s 80s cartoon inspired, we're not going to do a highlight layer like I usually do, or I can't say usually, like I've been doing. For the wee people, I have an extra light layer for highlighting. I'm not going to be doing that for this. I want it to look as much like a Saturday morning cartoon as possible. And I tend to do one item at a time. I don't know why. Maybe so I don't lose track. Oh yeah, War Gods of the Deep is also on Amazon for free right now. If you're a Vincent Price fan, love that movie. It's so bad, so bad good. I'm sure there are probably plenty of people in 2024 that don't love Vincent Price. Probably even more people that don't know who he is. I'm fully aware of how old I am. I mean, at this point, it's probably because their parents' parents failed their parents. Not everybody my age was watching Vincent Price. I guess I could have given her some eyeshadow. I didn't think about that. Does she need eyeshadow? She might need eyeshadow. I'll have to think about that. Yeah, it's 80s. She's got to have eyeshadow. It's got to be done. I don't know. It feels like she doesn't live in the woods. She lives underground. What's going on? I kind of want to do that. That looks more 80s. You're blue. I think that looks more 80s. We're doing that. I do like that your line of logic is about the woods. If she's in the woods, would she wear line or eyeshadow? Not the fact that she's a dark elf. That's what bothers you. She has blue skin, but would she wear eyeliner if she was in the woods? Uh, you would be surprised how typical that is, actually. People tend to argue the simple logics instead of the fantastic logics. It's kind of funny. That's why that phrase is such a cliche. That's what you have a problem with. Oh, I missed a spot. The hell? Oh, it's because that. Yeah, that's what it was. Well, this part seems tedium. Tedium. I'm hungry. Well, this part seems tedious. Coloring is actually cathartic. So once you get to the coloring phase of a picture, you're usually pretty good. It draws you in. That's why a lot of people, adults even color nowadays. There's adult coloring books. In fact, because color is cathartic, sometimes I'll just color instead of color draw, just to be doing it. Yes, all those little details are going to cast shadows. Bastards. I'm going to go ahead and shade it off. What are you doing? What do you got? What do you got? You shooting now? Actually, that's too much. Be right there. Actually, I kind of like it. basin. Probably didn't make much sense, but it looks good. What did I miss? Gus, knock it off. I said knock it off. Ah. Ah. Nope. Zip it. What layer is that on? Stop. That sucks. I gotta find that. Might be the one I want. Let's see. It is. Yay. That could have been worse. What is up, Genzo76? How's your head? Sorry. No expectations for you to make the whole stream. Your head hurts. Almost done anyway on the last phase. Gus, knock it off. Now don't worry, metals being metals, they're going to get a little more attention. Just a little bit more. Because again, we're going for a cartoony look, so it's not going to be too detailed. Did I miss that? That? Yeah, that was it. Yep. Because I'm hungry. Gus, are you hungry? Huh? You hungry too? You hungry? Yeah. You want to come up and say hi to everybody? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Don't feel bad. You want to say hi to Gus before you go? Hey, come on. Come say hi to everybody. Say hi. Look. Okay. Get it. That's Gus. You want me to wait till you're back to go streaking? Is that what that means? We can go streaking through the quads of the gymnasium. Oh, now I want to watch Old School. That's funny because yesterday I told her I was going to be streaking later instead of streaming. Again, because I'm not smart. I feel like we need a little more. It's a pretty dark picture. All right, for the metal. Maybe like that. I'll switch over to paint. Too big. Too small. And even the sides that are fully shadowed with the metal, you're still going to want to do something. Just so something. these maybe a little bit more. Doesn't matter if you hit the line art or not. We got so many different sizes. Since the paintbrushes are pressure sensitive, the harder you hold it down, the more color or hue you're going to use. So you can do like a light stroke and then follow it up with a heavy stroke. It actually looks pretty good. Nice simple metal sheen. Like that. Hit the notches a bit. Too much. And again, we're keeping this simple because we're doing the whole Saturday morning cartoon thing. There are, I tell you, you look at 4 different artists online, you're going to get 4 different ways of doing things. So one thing I want to get across is that my way is not the right way at all. In fact, I don't want you to do things my way. I'm showing you how I do things, and you can take what you want from it, if you take anything from it. I want you to do things your way. In fact, I don't even do all my stuff the same way. Like sometimes I'll color my line art. I'm not doing it this time. Sometimes I will. All right, so she is pretty much done. I am going to bump the opacity back up though, because it is such a dark piece she's going into. And then one cool thing about Procreate, copy this canvas, go over here, paste that canvas, and then isn't that cool? So that's it. That's all I got. I waxed poetic for the first part. That's why it took so long. Otherwise, it wouldn't have taken that long. Plus, it was a pretty detailed piece, but that's all I got. I will probably stream again tomorrow. I really need to stream every day. Helps me do stuff. Yeah.